Hello artists, today I'm going to teach you how to use a cardboard weaving loom. First thing you need is a piece of cardboard with notches in it, and I'll teach you how to do this with the warp already on there. We need a little piece of paper folded in half to help put this wonderful needle on, the yarn on the needle, and a cardboard strip, and I'll show you how to use that too. So the first thing, let's get this needle to have yarn on it. I keep saying it wrong, to have the yarn on the needle. So it's sometimes easy to just put the yarn through the needle, the eye of the needle. They call this the eye. And you come in and put this through. But sometimes the yarn gets frayed at the top. That means it's like too untwisted, because it's like two pieces of, or three pieces of fiber. This one's 4. And they kind of start to get kind of curly on the ends. They call that frayed. So that sometimes is a bother to people. So if you take this piece of string and at the fold you put the yarn, you just have a short part of it, and where those two parts of the piece of paper are at the top, you're gonna put both of those through the needle. So I'm gonna go right here, right through the eye of the needle, so both sides. And when you do that, it kind of pulls the yarn through it, and then that little tail goes through. And then I want to make sure the yarn doesn't fall off of it, so I put both ends together, and I want it to be doubled up on my weaving. It kind of goes faster. I'm going to hold both ends together and pull with the yarn on the needle already. And there, now I have it where it goes all the way down, both sides of this yarn stay together. So this is ready now. I'm going to take my first color, which is yellow, and I'm going to use the weaving loom. Now this I already did for the classes, and that is called the warp strings. They go vertically up and down. The left and right strings are called the weft strings. Right to left, we're doing the weft, I guess. And we're going to take this piece of cardboard, and I'm going to push it through and then turn it sideways. This is going to keep the yarn off of it so that it's easier to weave through. I like doing that. And it doesn't matter if you start under or over, but we're going to keep remembering the words under, over, under, over. And I'm going to start under the first with my needle. I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, under, over. I'm going to pull it through till we're all the way at the end of the string, but not too much. We want to have like a thumbs line. Just leave it hanging off. I'll show you how to make everything tuck in later. It could be a little less, half of a thumb. And then we just did the first row of weaving. I started under, over. Well, guess what? The next row is opposite day. I'm going to go over, under. So when we're at the end, you want the end of the string to wrap around this piece on the end. In order to do that, you have to make it go over it because it already was under it. So I'm going to take my needle and go over, under, over, under, up, over, under, over. And I'm doing the same thing. I'm going to pull. And if you notice, each of my strings, it's like brick-like in a way. I have, this looks like a brick, and then the black line is the grout. Then here's a brick line, here's a brick. And so the next row is opposite. It has like one going under. Here's the brick, which is overlapping that. And we're here. So now I'm going to keep going. If this one was over, the next one is under. And I'm going to go the other way. And I'm going to keep doing this until my color runs out or I decide I'm changing my color. And if it twists like this, you kind of want to just kind of pull it a little bit, jiggle it around until they don't twist together. There's a couple things kids do and weavers do that really make it work. If you leave it a little loose on the ends, it's so much better. Some people pull it really tight, and you can see this is like, hey, I'm moving in. You want it to kind of pull it out. So there. So now I'm going to go back the next way. Under, over, under, over, under. And I'm going to keep doing this. And when I get to the end, sometimes it's twisted. I untwist it. That part doesn't really matter. And I push these down. If you notice, I'm pushing them down, and they are getting fuzzy on the ends. Like, it's going to look less like you see the black lines in between. You'll see the weaving are coming together. And you could do, some kids were doing like 2 colors put together, so it was like 4 strings. It kind of looked cool, and that's fine with me. It's all about learning how to weave. I want you to learn that under and over, and just be confident not to twist it like that. You want to make sure it's wider on the sides, and we're just going to keep going. So if I get to the end where I want to go, I don't want to leave it going fluffy on the end. Here's the trick. So let's say I'm done using yellow and I have this much yarn left. I'm going to go under it again, over it, and under. And then I'm going to just stop it by cutting it here. And why? It's because when I weave really tightly, it's going to just tuck it in. That's called just tucking it under. And it won't matter. It's going to be there beautifully, because the next piece I use is gonna smash that little knot into place. So again, I'm going to take my little piece of white paper, put the green through it, like that, and the green through it, and those 2 ends at the top, I'm gonna go through the needle, and then pull the white paper off, and I'm gonna connect my 2 ends, and pull. I have the whole piece. Now this time, instead of doing opposite, because this little yellow guy only went up to here, I'm gonna just follow him. Yellow, now here's green guy. I'm gonna just repeat those few at the end. It's always gonna go only about 3 in, and watch this, this is cool. This little green is gonna stop right there. Okay, so when these go together, they're kind of just meshing here. And we can always cut this later, but the green is overlapping the yellow, and the yellow is overlapping the green. It's gonna be all right. I'm sure there's other people who like knot it together. I don't knot it. I just think the knotting makes like a big mess in the middle of our weaving. And if we just do some really good weaving, it's all gonna work out. So now I'm on to the green lines, and I'm pushing them down every so often, and I can see it's starting to work. See how cool it is? You know, it's like all this work I did, and it's only like 1 inch long. What? That's why I think some kids like to double up the colors. So that would mean I'd pick like green and blue in the same needle, and then there would be like green and blue stripes through it, or whatever colors you use. So that is how we weave. And don't pull too hard. Always give it a little bit of room. When we finish, I will show you tricks to how to get it off of the cardboard loom. For now, just have fun learning the wonderful weaving art. I want to make sure you guys see the next thing. If I'm done with that stitch, I can even let this hang off of it kind of far and let it stay here for a few minutes until I get my next color. Okay, I hope that you aren't confused and understand it, and I will show more videos on how to finish these too. Bye-bye.